Hey, welcome back to the Happy Place Diaries. I'm Jerry, and in this video we're going to get really serious. We're going to tackle a subject that scares me to death, and without even any more introduction, let's just dive right in. Hey, welcome back to the Happy Place Diaries. If you are new here, welcome. We really appreciate you watching. If you're a returning guest, you know, as always, we appreciate each and every one of you. And at a risk of being amateurish, I'm going to jump right in. This subject is something, like I said, just scares me to death, and it is fire. And we all know that fire, along with water, is something that is absolutely catastrophic in an RV, and unfortunately it happens that fast. So this is the time of year when it's really on our mind, where we're thinking about firing up that furnace for the first time, running a lot more on gas or propane, and running space heaters and all of those things, that we really need to think about what we're doing to prevent a fire in your RV. And listen, I'm going to say right off the bat, if you have a fire in your RV and you're inside, get out. Everything that's in here is just stuff. Everything can be replaced. Nothing is worth risking your life over. Having said that, here are some things that we do to fight fire and to prevent fire. All right, so when we're talking about fire, we need to think about where fires are going to happen. And the kitchen area is definitely, pardon the pun, a hot spot for those fires. And so we carry a couple things in the kitchen area. So down in the cabinet right here below the sink, we've got a fire blanket, and it's really easy to access. You just grab the black tabs and you pull the fire blanket out of the pouch, unfold it, and just throw it on top of the pots and pans or whatever is on fire on the stove. That's going to put out the fire. I'm not going to undo this because it's hard to fold up. The nice thing about the fire blanket is they are reusable, and I guess there's a process to wash them. We've never had to use it, and I hope we never, ever, ever do. So obviously a big concern of ours is what happens if we are in bed at night. I mean, if we're awake and we're out in the living space, at least we're aware, we're up, we can react to a fire. We could probably smell it coming or whatever, see it coming. But if we're sound asleep back here in the bedroom and we're running the furnace or we're running the space heater that's back here, or just something happens out there, we have to be able to at least fight the fire to get out of bed and get out of the trailer. We have a fire extinguisher right here, right next to the fire exit, which is right there. And that fire extinguisher is checked. We check these like every 6 months, make sure that they're good to go. But from the bed, which here's the foot of the bed, that fire extinguisher is easily accessed. And if we're going to go out that window, at least we could fight fire to the window and out, or fight our way down the stairs and then out through the main door. So having a fire extinguisher in the bedroom is an absolute must. Most RV manufacturers do not include a fire extinguisher in the bedroom, so I would highly recommend that you go out and you buy yourself a couple more fire extinguishers. So we also have that fire extinguisher right here by the door. That way we can, if we're out on the road, we can easily reach in and grab it, or if we're up in the living room, it's accessible. Anywhere from the kitchen, it's accessible. And we also keep one of these First Alert Easy Fire sprays. They're relatively cheap. I think they're about $13. And we keep that under the sink also. And that way it's just there just in case we need it. So we've also always kept a fire extinguisher down in the front pass-through storage. We're replacing that fire extinguisher because we took that fire extinguisher because it was a little smaller and put that out in the truck. So we're going to be replacing that with this one today. It's always good to have one. Why there? Well, because the battery compartment and everything's in front of that. The propane is right in front of that. And it's a cabinet that we can easily get to, especially if we're out on the road and something happens. But I guess the moral of the story is you can't have enough fire extinguishers. So the other thing that is an absolute must, and you should check these often, is right up here, your fire detectors, smoke alarms. We have one right there, and that is going into the bedroom. And we have one up front, and we're going to install one today up in our battery compartment right here. I think it was like 15 bucks, and these are smaller units. They're not as big as the ones up there, and these run on batteries. And I figure we're going to hear it. If something happens where we think a fire is going to start, at least we'll be detected and we can adjust. So in our front compartment, we've got hydraulic fluid, we've got our batteries, we've got all of our connections right here. We carry extra propane. And so we're going to install this fire extinguisher up in this compartment, and we're going to put it on this back wall here. And that way we will surely hear it when it goes off, especially since if you sit here and the TV's on, you can hear the TV down here. So this is definitely going to alert us if anything happens in this front compartment. So what we're going to do is we've got the batteries in already. We've tested it. It's working. I'm using alien tape, and I'm just going to install it right on that metal beam right there. Okay, that's installed. We are done with that. When we're talking about fire, it's always a good thing, just like in a house, to have a plan, have a fighting plan, have an evacuation plan, have an assembly plan, know what you're going to do. This window right here is a fire escape. Now, I'll tell you, you open that window, it's a long drop to the bottom, so you need to have a plan. The door, obviously you've got stairs to get out of, but all of these windows are pretty high up there. Have a plan for getting out of these windows and what you're going to do once you hit the ground. So when it comes to fire, a lot of times the fire is going to start with this right here. And no, I'm not talking about the water heater. I'm talking about your 50 or 30 amp power cord and making sure that it is serviceable. We were just inspecting our cord a couple months ago and noticed that there were cuts in the cord. Don't know where they came from, and we put some electric tape to just kind of put a band-aid on it. The good folks from Epicord, they sent us a new power cord and wanted us to test it out. It's a power cord. It's working great. I'm going to show you it right now. It's pretty beefy. So again, here's where we got cuts in our cord. Just put a band-aid on it. And here's our new cord from Epicord. And it is a 50 amp cord. Pretty robust. It's got a nice right angle there. Now when you're inspecting your cords, make sure that these don't have any burn or charring or any melting. We don't have any of that going on. And the same thing on this end. Just make sure that it's all looking serviceable. Now this is a 50-foot cord. They have everything from 25 foot, 50 foot. They have extension cords for RVs, which are at the appropriate gauge. Know that we had a friend of my folks that tried to plug in their coach. They had a big Class A, used a regular household extension cord, burned it to the ground. Don't want that to happen. Anyway, so when you do have a cord that needs repair or needs maintenance, do it, because definitely a fire hazard. Okay, this pass-through where all the tools are and everything, it's on the passenger side, the side that we access the most. We're going to go ahead and install this fire extinguisher in here. And again, We're going to use this alien tape. And if it doesn't hold, then I will use the screws. But we're going to install it right on this wall right here. And that way I can just open the door and pop the fire extinguisher out. And there it is. It's in. And that seems to be holding. Easy. Grab it off the wall. And it clicked, so it's probably not going to move anywhere. But a fire extinguisher handy outside, inside, and everywhere that I need them. So I guess I should also mention we keep a fire extinguisher in the truck, and that way if we're going down the road, we need it, it's there. We can fight the fire back to the trailer, get things disconnected and whatnot. But when it comes to fighting fire to get out of the trailer, I think our bases are covered. Fire extinguishers, smoke detection, a fire blanket, and a plan. I think that's what you need. You need prevention. Make sure that you're not running things that you shouldn't be running. Limit the amount of extension cords you're using inside. And yeah, watch those heaters this year. If you have an electric fireplace, make sure that you're maintaining it. Make sure that you don't have dust buildup, because that's just an electric space heater also. All right, well, hey, listen, if this little video gave you any value at all, please give us a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Leave us a comment in the comment section below about your fire plan, or if you've got a tip that we might have missed, we'd sure love to hear it. With that, we'll see you in the next video. Be safe out there.